Alright, and we're back with the second part of the Northern Challenge in NBA Street. On the screen you'll see Joe the Show. As I said in the last video, he was from earlier NBA Lives, but he was under the name of Bob Elliott, which is his actual name, obviously. This one is against the Raptors, led by Vince Carter. I was tempted to run with Jordan with this game, just to have the Jordan and Vince Carter duel. I went against it. I didn't want to do that because I don't want to use the Jordan cheese just yet. I know I'm going to have to at some point, but I'm trying to put that off as long as possible. This game was put up to medium difficulty, and obviously as you see that dunk from Carter, that there's an instant change. During this game there was a bit of a hiccup where the video recording sort of froze, so that's at that point there. That's where you see my players just let him go for that dunk, and then I paused it and I was freaking out a little bit. I didn't know what was happening, so I turned off my porn downloads and it was working. Checking up the shot again. I'm still getting used to the controls. I got those 2K fingers where I'm pressing where X would be on the Xbox, and instead of instead of crossing it over. So that was a bit of a problem, but I was getting a hang of the crossovers, that's for sure. Dancing with the ball a bit. Allan Houston's shot, that was ugly. But generally speaking, is a lifesaver. And it's a pretty good balance with the Knicks with this three. Remember, these guys went to the finals pretty much off those three. Yeah, you had Larry Johnson as well, but these were the next three important guys, because Patrick Ewing was injured for that series against the Pacers, and it was Allan Houston and Latrell Sprewell that were the two main guys. Larry Johnson was the third best player on that team, but then you had Camby, who had huge minutes, and his energy really complemented the scoring ability of those two players. That being said, I looked it up. The rosters were just at the just before the start of the 2001 season, so what's interesting is Jordan is available. I wonder if he's going to be on the Wizards. I'm not too sure. That would be interesting. If he's on the Wizards, I might play MJ against himself. That would be interesting. But I'll definitely be using him when I go up against the Lakers. That would be fun, because Kobe at that point was considered the next MJ. He still kind of is, even though he's getting close to his 40s. A lot of blocks in this. A lot of blocks and steals. So in the next few games, I'll probably be upping it to hard difficulty, especially as I improve the roster. Last game, I didn't claim Sharif Abdul-Rahim, but if I win this one, I definitely will be taking Vince Carter, because he'll be a fun player to play with. Maybe the best dunker in the history of the game, so this game really highlights those dunks. So that'll be fun to actually run with him and see what happens. I don't know what I'll do with my team though, because I want to keep it with the Knicks field. Probably Camby would be the one to go and just run with Houston, Sprewell and Carter. But I'll probably mix it up based off who I'm playing. If it's a team with a dominant big guy, then I'll run with Marcus Camby, and probably Allan Houston will be the one to go, because I really like playing with Sprewell. But outside shooting might be a little bit compromised, but not too much. I want to learn how to do the dive. I saw Vince Carter just dive headfirst for the ball. That will come in handy, because a lot of the times when you swipe at the ball, you don't instantly get possession of it. You just knock it loose and then you got to chase after it. But diving for it would come in handy. Antonio Davis making the jumper there. He's a forgotten player. He was an all-star for the Raptors, and in the series against the Sixers, he really gave Dikembe Mutombo fits, because he stepped out 20 feet and was able to make that jump shot. So he drew out Mutombo, and that opened the lanes up for Vince Carter and the rest of the Raptors to get to the rim. There's a nice alley-oop. I wonder if I could have flicked it back up to, I think it was Camby who was trailing Sprewell. That'll be nice if you can do that. The ball handling is really fun. It has a nice little sound effect. Almost like a DJ scratching a record. Speaking of nice sounds though, maybe the worst sound in the game is that annoying kid that talks about the moves and the dunks, like, you know, saying it's a hammer down and or whatever it is. That to me is a little bit annoying. Sounds like I don't know, Justin Bieber on helium. So that's not cool. But there we go, there's a game breaker. I can't remember what I did with it in this. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I shot a 3. So I remember last game talking about how the 3s would be advantageous. So I actually utilized that. And as you can see, you know, a close game goes to 12-7. And the Raptors really can't counter because their game break is not all that high. I don't know why Carter missed that dunk. Maybe his turbo was too low. But then another steal. So I think I'll try one more game on medium. And if it's another fairly easy victory, then I'll switch it up to hard. It is a fun game though. It's a fun series. And I really look forward to. I actually ordered NBA Street Volume 2 for the original Xbox. So once I finish this one, I'll be going straight into the second one, and hopefully we'll be able to maintain the standard that this one has set. Here we go. Remember Charles Oakley played with Michael Jordan early on in his career too. He was traded for. They traded him for Bill Cartwright just before that second. Oh, not the second. The first three-peat took place. So, Charles Oakley has had, you know, the opportunity to play with 2 of the best dunkers in the history of the game in Michael Jordan and Vince Carter. As well as Scottie Pippen, who wasn't a bad dunker either. There's Vince drilling a 3. So, I think I'm definitely going to get Carter, but I think I'll use him quite a lot as well. He looks like the definite player you want on this team in this game. The handles, maybe the defense will be a bit soft, but you could cover that up a bit. I don't think defense is really emphasized in this game all that much. I mean, you get the blocks, you get the steals, but you know, lateral quickness and bodying up and help defense really isn't a big priority. It's, you know, those highlight plays, and Carter definitely was a king of those in this period. People forget about how good he actually was. There was a period in time around that 2001 season that you could make a legitimate argument that he was a top 5 player in the league. You had Shaq, you had Kobe, those 2 were locks. And then there was a bit of a logjam. You know, you had Tim Duncan, who was fairly dominant, but not as dominant. Like he won in '99, but his team got swept in 2001 by the Lakers. You had Allen Iverson, he had to be in the top 5, so there's 3 of them so far. Then you got Garnett, so you know, it might sound blasphemous to have an argument for. I hope I made that shot. Yeah, that was a nice splash. But if you got at that time, you had Vince Carter, who was putting up major points. He led the Raptors to their only playoff victory in the history of their existence, even to this date, over the Knicks in 5 games, and that was Game 5 in Madison Square Garden. On top of that, after that, he up against the Philadelphia 76ers, he was dominant. He had, you know, some major games, and he was one shot away from eliminating that Sixer team that played so well against the Lakers, relatively speaking. And wait, the game is over already as I hit a floater. But yeah, so Vince Carter was dominant. I'll absolutely grab him. I'm not sure how much I'm going to use him because I don't want to cheese it up, but I probably will use him because it just looks. It looks like that's the basis of the game. You know, even though you're using the Knicks, you want to build it up so it's not really your team. It's not really them anymore. It's your squad. So I'll have Carter. He'll probably replace Houston, and the next game will be coming up shortly.
Who's gonna be the lucky man to join your squad, partner?